Hey guys, I'm Arturo, and I have to proudly announce that this is the first episode of my newest project. This time is a podcast. It's gonna be called Thinking Out Loud with Arthur because I'm Arthur, and I'm gonna be like saying what I think about certain subjects, talking about experiences, hobbies that I have, things that I like, and I want this to be a learning space. Let's just say, because I don't speak English, and you may be saying, why are you saying that you don't speak English? I am listening to you and you are really speaking English. Well, yes, I am, but I don't speak English as good as I'd like to. So, I don't have practice, even though I've been learning. Not learning. I've been having classes about English for 9.5 years, 10 if you count last semester, and well, I don't know. I haven't had the chance to speak English properly, and I do have the chances, but there I very rarely get to speak it, so I work part-time weekends mostly, helping out in some Airbnbs, and when people come over and they don't speak Spanish, that's where I get to shine, So I receive these people, I welcome them to the apartment, show them around, and basically talk with them, and almost all of them say that I do speak English really well, and I'd like to believe that, but I just know that I don't speak English as good as I should, because after the first 4 years, after the first 4 years that I learning English, I just stopped learning. So I started my classes when I was like 8. Yeah, it was like 8 years old. Yeah, we practiced with songs. I still remember practicing with Imagine by John Lennon. Most people say that their English practices were with Lemon Tree. I think it's called Lemon Tree. And while I think it's a really good song, I just can't remember if I ever sang that in the group or no. But well, the first 4 years that I learned English, I was in elementary or primary school, and then the next 2 years it was in secondary school. But around my second year, pandemic struck, so I had to study from home for the remaining year and a half that I still needed to finish the secondary school, and I didn't really learn much. We were just kind of reviewing all of the things that I had already studied, and I guess it helped to perfect all of it. But I mean, I'm bad at the English theory, so if you ask me what's adjective, I wouldn't know how to answer. I don't even know what an adjective is in Spanish, which is my mother language. So I'm really bad in theory, but I do write in English. I can read and understand English. I can listen in English. So when I was little, like 10 years old, in the house, we always watch movies, sitcom series, almost all of it in English. So I am really familiar with English pronunciation because of the listening, and while speaking is significantly harder, you see, it's not impossible. So if you have listened to English conversations before, you're most likely to speak it well to a certain degree. And since I don't really have now the opportunity to speak English as much as I'd like to, I'm starting this new project. I want to improve my English pronunciation. Gathering my ideas better, thinking faster, and most important of all, I don't like how I look on camera. So I'm sure this has happened to almost everyone. So you go to the mirror and you look perfect, and when you open your front camera up, it's not there. Okay, so it's you, but you don't look the same as you look in the mirror. You look different, and well, I mean, it's perspective, it's perception, how you perceive it, how you see it. I, for once, am not comfortable with that. And the other thing that I don't like is how my voice sounds on recordings, which is something that happens exactly to the same people who don't like to see themselves on camera, but they do like to see themselves on video. No, in the mirror. So I came up with this idea, I don't know, at the start of the week, when I was listening to another podcast. This one's by my friend Rene. Shout out to you, man. You really helped me out with this. So the episode is Embrace Embarrassment. That's the title. And he was talking about how the embarrassment is a short-lived emotion. So if you don't do things because you're ashamed of what people might say, you simply won't do anything. They won't remember you for something impressive. But if you do and you achieve it, they will remember you for what you did. And if you can't make it, they will still remember you for trying, and that really struck me. So I'm totally recommending this to you. If you haven't listened to it, I absolutely recommend you. It's called The Brief by Rene. It's on Spotify. I think I'll be leaving the link in the description of this one anyway, so feel free to check that out. And once again, thank you, bro. I really needed that. So I texted him like, hey man, this may come out of the blue, but I was figuring that I may or may not start a new podcast. So I was thinking that if you could give me some advice, some tips, since you're already making one podcast. And well, he just helped me out. He told me to get a mic, an adapter, find a good place to record, so I don't think this is the ideal place, but kind of like it how it works. And he told me something important, so to just talk about what comes into mind. And if I can keep like on the same idea for a long time, I could even make notes, which is what I'm doing. So I want to keep this almost unscripted, but I still need some guidance, to keep on track, to have a structure to it. So I'm using notes to remind me what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to say, what shouldn't I say, and all of that. And one of the most important things he said to me was that it wasn't gonna be like good or great, wasn't come out perfect the first time, so I could do another shots, remakes, but I guess I'll just edit those out. And talking about editing things out, I should really do something about the nose. So I have my earbuds right now, but yeah, classical street sounds. So I'll probably just filter those out, you know, basic stuff. And I think that I can really count on this mic. Like, I bought this cable for these headphones, earbuds, and it does have two mics, so it promises to have omnidirectional microphone, which I don't really like because what I said, the street noises, traffic. So I'll just figure that out in editing later. And well, so this podcast, I already told you what I want to get better in English, thinking, speech, my reject towards cameras, and I want this podcast to be a safe space for me to talk about whatever I want, some hobbies that I may have, things I like, things I dislike, experiences, or even if I don't have anything to talk about that day, I could just read some Reddit stories to give my opinion. I always wanted to do it, since the first month that one of those damn videos popped on my TikTok feed. I was like, damn, this looks interesting. I might do this one day. So if I run out of ideas, like quickly, I can read the stories. And so this isn't meant to be just a safe space for me. If I really do get an audience, I want my audience to feel safe here, but I'm not really sure I'm gonna get like some big audience on the first days. I don't want to make a big fuss of this or anything. And if I do get a community, I'd feel honored, Not everyone can get a community that loves what they're doing. I've seen creators like work their asses to make videos for 5 years or more, and they're still small content creators. So I don't know what to expect of this, but I'm not doing this because of the views. I'm doing this because I want to improve myself, work on this. And if anyone wants to watch this, wants to listen to this, they'll be free to do so, This podcast will be airing on both Spotify and YouTube. I'm gonna check how the community posts work and all of that. So if anyone wants me to talk about a specific topic, wants to send me their story to read, I don't know, they can do so, and the community will start to grow eventually. And I mean, I really want to like do the max or work all I can in my free hours with this project, but since I don't really have much experience in speaking English, and I may run out of the ideas that I have quickly. Also, I don't really speak for a long time, so I will try to keep this episode short, like 15 to 30 minutes max. So I don't want this to be way too long, just 20, 30 minutes, me talking about whatever, and well, I'll start to make my schedule. I want to upload at least twice a month, and if it's possible, 3 or 4 times, which I really look forward to. I'll be recording on Friday or Tuesday, and the podcast should be out on Fridays at 10 p.m. But if I have any delays or anything, I guess I'll just post it on the Instagram, which I think that it'll be on the description of this episode. And I have my personal account linked there, but I didn't wanted to post the podcast since my personal profile, because I don't know, I like to keep some things separated from each other. I don't think it would be that good if my personal social media had this podcast. So for people that knows me, they're not like accustomed to see me being like this serious, because I'm usually not serious at all, so I'll be making jokes, funny comments, not paying attention, like I get distracted way too easily. So last time, for example, I was in class, then I simply just spaced out, there was nothing to even see, nothing remotely interesting out the window, but I just spaced out. I don't know how that happens, but it happened. So I don't know what to talk about in the next episode. I'm already thinking about it, I'm thinking about relationships or love, or some hobby that I have, some movie that I like, some series that I like, but I'm not really sure right now, so I'll just keep thinking about it, because I don't want to get like too preachy on the first episodes. At least give me 3. So I'll just probably talk about some hobbies that I have next week, and I guess that's all for today. You can follow me on my socials. I have link down in the description of this episode. There's the Spotify podcast, the video on YouTube. Although the video, I'm uploading video podcast. So if you want to watch the video on Spotify, it's there. There's the Instagram. If you like the podcast, you can get updates from the Instagram. You can DM me with suggestions, because I have like way too many ideas for the next episodes, and I also discussed some with some of my friends. So this one friend, Camila, she said, maybe you should talk about gossip. And gossips I know a lot, but it seems like a good idea. Gossip calls people. It's like a natural instinct. And the other one said, you can just talk about some Mexican legends and stories, some we can talk about Mexican people that made important mark on the Mexican history, and all of that seems like a good idea. I'll take that in mind, and well, I will structure my next episode based on one of those ideas. Like, for example, with gossip, I could talk about a little bit of everything, you know. So, like this friend, he was like seeing three girls at the same time, or that one, yeah, he got arrested. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of ideas that I can talk about, and even though I don't like really talking about some things, I can speak for a long time if I'm not interrupted. So this one right now, I think it's gonna be like 20 minutes of me yapping nonstop. So, as I was telling you earlier, I want to keep this short, so I don't get like too burned out, you don't get that bored, and I can save those ideas for some next episodes, you know? Like just getting the max that I can of this one. So, I think that's all for today, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you guys in the next one.